Then they said to me, I'm not surprised, I never even thought about it, sir, would it be possible for you to have a picture with us by the tombstone of my son? I said, absolutely. I wasn't doing it I don't need publicity, I get a lot of publicity.
Donald Trump has been accused of political stunts and disrespecting sacred ground by taking photos at Arlington National Cemetery.
We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over that disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan.
The Republican nominee took and distributed images despite a federal prohibition on campaign activity on the grounds.
Should your campaign have put out those videos and photos?
Well, we have a lot of people. We have people, TikTok people, we're leading the internet. That was the other thing. We're so far above her on the internet.
But on that hallowed ground, should they have put out the images of those?
I don't know what the rules and regulations are. I don't know who did it. And it could have been them. It could have been the parents. It could have been somebody.
It was your campaign's TikTok, though, that put out the video.
I really don't know anything about it. All I do is I stood there and I said, if you'd like to have a picture, we can have a picture. If somebody did it, this was a setup by the people in the administration that, Trump is coming to Arlington. That looks so bad for us.
In a statement, Vice President Kamala Harris cited reports that Mr. Trump's campaign aides created an altercation with a cemetery employee and proceeded to take photographs and film the former president at the graves of Afghanistan war veterans after being warned about rules at the site. Let me be clear, the former president disrespected sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt, a solemn place where we come together to honour American heroes, not a place for politics. Mr. Trump visited Arlington alongside the families of 13 fallen US servicemen and women who died in a suicide bombing during the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. The Trump campaign stressed that Mr. Trump had been invited by the fallen soldiers' families. Mr. Trump responded to his opponent by sharing messages of support from 8 of the families on his social media platform, Truth Social, with some also criticising Ms. Harris and accusing her of disgracefully twisting this sacred moment into a political ploy.
Kamala, I want you to understand, and I know it will be difficult for you because you lack empathy and basic understanding. We invited President Trump. We are the ones that asked for the video and the pictures to be taken at the tomb of the unknown soldier.
I heard that we were using the graves of those soldiers for public relations purposes. They say I was campaigning. The one thing I get is plenty of publicity. I don't need that. And then these people accuse me of doing this for public relations reasons. And I'll tell you, if you haven't noticed, I get a lot of publicity. I don't need that publicity. I don't need that publicity. I get a lot. I get too much.
Mr. Trump also responded directly stating, "I want to thank the families of our great warriors who have been lost to us for the way they came together as one, and thanked me for attending, at their request, the celebration of their wonderful family members who, because of the incompetence of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, no longer with us." The Trump campaign have maintained a continued criticism of US President Joe Biden and now Ms. Harris for the chaotic US withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Look, sometimes I get frustrated and sometimes I get pissed off, and I think Kamala Harris' failure of leadership at Abbey Gate is something to get frustrated and angry about.
The Democrats have also fought back against Republican criticism, alluding to Mr. Trump's history of picking fights with veterans.
I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general, and he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser, was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers, it was made up by him.